Chicos, right, today we've got Leganés B against Parla, and it's the second week in a row that I'm seeing a team for the second week in a row, if that makes any sense. It's not something I planned, and it's not really something I would like to continue, but the way that kickoff times were and other commitments, it's just the way things have worked out. So I've not actually been here before, so I was quite keen to come down and check it out in any case. And when I say I've not been here before, I mean I've not been to Leganés B. You might remember that I have been to a couple of Leganés games in the last couple of seasons, so I'm not going to go into a big spiel about the history of the club or tell you about the city, because I've done that before. So if you want to know about that, then check out the videos that I've done when I've seen the big team in action. Now, Leganés B team was actually originally a completely different club called Legane that was established in 1959, 31 years after Leganés themselves were founded. But they officially became the Leganés B team in 1991, and quite interestingly, the B teams almost had as many seasons at the Tercera level as the Leganés big team, although they've admittedly not been here since 1987. Now, Leganés B even had a couple of seasons in the Segunda B back in the 1990s when Leganés were Segunda Division regulars, but from 2006 until 2016 they've been playing at the lower levels. This is their third season back in the Tercera. The first year they just missed out on the promotion playoffs, and last season they finished in mid-table. So Leganés started off the season pretty well. They lost only one of their first 9 league matches, but they've suffered 2 defeats in a row now, and that's seen them drop down to 8th in the table, 5 points off the promotion playoff places. Now, if you're watching last week, you'll know that Parla on a bit of a wretched run of form. They've only taken 1 point from the last 6 games, so that leaves them just above the relegation zone on goal difference only. But to be fair, they did put in a really good second half performance against the runaway leaders Las Rozas last weekend, so who knows, they might be able to continue their momentum today. This game has been played at the Estadio Deportiva Butarque, which is the new Leganés training complex. And to be fair, I'm not sure how I feel about this, because we've got this one stand here, and that's pretty much it. This guy with the drum, I'm assuming this is a Parla guy, not a Leganés B guy. Oh, it's an early opener for Leganés B. I was too busy eating my crisps to film it, but I think the Parla defence will be a bit disappointed with that. Ball into the back post, fullback was out muscled, squared across goal, knocked in from close range. Early goal. A very lively start here. That was a guilty chance for Parla to equalise. Some start to this game. Efforts are flying in. Let's hope it continues. In a B team game, I was a little bit worried about no atmosphere. But the Parla guys are here with their drum to save the day. Got a feeling we're going to have a goal for Parla pretty soon. They're putting together some nice moves in the final third. Just a matter of time. I'm telling you, it is coming. Oh, great effort. Unlucky. Right in. Well, I told you it was coming, and there it is. Well deserved. So, half time 1-1. A really enjoyable first half. I think Parla will feel a little bit grieved that they're not ahead at half time. They're definitely moving the ball around much more slickly and been getting into some pretty dangerous positions. They've been managed to get in behind the Leganés midfield on a number of occasions. It was only a matter of time before they scored, as I mentioned earlier. So yeah, they did. If they continue in the same way, I can definitely see them ending their winning drought as it is at the moment. Both teams, to be fair, have been trying to play the ball out from the back, and you know, when it works, it looks good. It's not always worked, and there's been a few kind of risky moments that they've both kind of gotten away with. Right, now, I don't know if anybody remembers a game I went to last season. It was Colmar Viejo against Internacional, and I quite ridiculously thought there was a guy called Jaguar playing, and there is a guy called Jaguar playing. His name is officially something else, but he does actually have Jaguar on his shirt. I'm so pleased to have discovered this. Right, as you know, I always like to try and give you a different perspective all the grounds I'm at, but unfortunately this is the best I can do today, since we only have the one stand and you can't get around the other side. We're really end to end at the moment. It's Parla's turn this time. Right, here he is, Jaguar himself in action. Big number 3. Now, I know it's a bit of a cliché to talk about a Rolls Royce of a centre back, but this guy is a Jaguar of a centre back, quite literally. Right, we've got a few interesting slogans around here. The one over there says the heart of a city, so Leganés, the heart of a city. And that was definitely the feeling I got when I went to see Leganés playing at Butarque, the big team. It was a very community-based club. You can just tell everybody in the ground knows each other. They're maybe all neighbours, they're maybe all related to each other. But the most fun one to translate into English is definitely this one, Sentimiento Pepinero, which basically means cucumber feelings. So Leganés are nicknamed Los Pepineros, the cucumbers. If you haven't seen their new mascot, Super Pepino, Super Cucumber, you definitely need to check him out. Oh, is he giving a penalty? Or is it on the edge of the box? I think it's just on the edge of the box. Big chance this. Oh, I could not have been closer. Well, it wouldn't be a Spanish football game without an absolutely massive overreaction to a tackle. Right, most of these lower league Spanish games are in the morning. As you can probably tell, this one is not. Oh, what a finish that would have been. Oh, what a finish that would have been. Right, I don't know how light this looks on camera, but it's pretty dark here. And there doesn't seem to be any sign of any floodlights coming on. Right, just as the full-time whistle went, we've got some light on over there. Okay, so it's full-time. Before I say anything more about the game, I can't believe I completely forgot to mention before now that the last Leganés B game that I went to was probably the best game of football I've ever seen. So there's going to be a suggestion popping up right about now. Make sure you watch that, because you will see an absolute classic game and possibly one of the best goals I've ever seen, and definitely the best goal I think I've ever seen live. So be sure to check that out. Right, I can't help thinking that second half was a little bit of a letdown compared to the first half. It was a bit more evenly matched, but having said that, Parla still created by far the better chances. So they'll be kicking themselves that they didn't win this game. They definitely cut out the slack passes in their own half in the second half, whereas Leganés were giving the ball away for fun at times, and they were pretty lucky that they weren't punished. I think on another day they might well have been, but if the last two games are anything to go by, then I can definitely see Parla turning around their poor form sooner rather than later. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll be aware that I'm not a massive fan of B teams. And you know, this setup here, I mean, it's absolutely amazing. For a training complex, it's brilliant. To watch a competitive game of football, I'm not totally convinced. And basically, you know, just from a fan experience point of view, I'm not sure most supporters, you know, your average supporter of a club, is really going to give a shit about how the reserve team actually fares. So, you know, they'll come along, they might want to see some future stars, but you know, in terms of creating an atmosphere, I don't think that's ever really going to be the case. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this latest video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, be sure to subscribe on YouTube, and I'll also leave links to social media down below, as I always do. See you guys again next week for the next video.